This is part 2 of the Publisher series for inserting and changing items in your document. For this part, we'll be looking at taking apart the page parts to use them creatively in our document. In the last section, you can see that we've created some stories and put a title on. One of the items we want to take a look at in this section is the ability to ungroup items. So if I click on the first story that I put in, and I'm going to drag it out to my workspace, I will be able to work with it out here. I'll be able to ungroup it, change it, and then group it back together. The nice thing about Microsoft Publisher is we do have workspace on each side of our actual document. Okay, so under the Home tab, we have an item labeled Ungroup and Group. Now you can see that those are not highlighted right now. What we have to do is we have to go to the item we'd like to ungroup, click and drag, make sure that we get everything in there. Then we'll click Ungroup. Sometimes you have to click it twice, and you can see now I can remove individual parts and rearrange them. So for instance, if I would prefer that my picture was in the middle and that my text for the title is on the top, I can do it that way. Similarly over here, I can take it and I can select my entire item. I'm going to click Ungroup, and then I'm able to pull the pictures out and rearrange the items. So for instance, then if I just wanted a title and 2 pictures, and then perhaps my story to be underneath, I can do that. Okay, and now the question is, how do we move these back into our document? Because if we click on them now, they're still going to move as a single unit. Okay, what we can do is we can click and drag, make sure that you get the entire document. If we click and drag and only get this much, when we group it, it's only going to take these 2 items. It will not have the bottom item. So we want to start high and wide, and we want to make sure that we get the entire piece. Then we're going to come back to the top and click on Group. And that will put all the items back together, and we can reinsert that back in our document. Over here for this small piece that I've created, make sure that I get everything in there, and then I'm going to click Group, and then I'm going to insert that back into my document. And then once it gets back in the document, I may have to do a little resizing to get that to the way I fit. But that's a way that we can take a look at the page parts that currently exist, and if we don't like something about that page part, we can pull those apart, we can combine them with different page parts, and then we can insert them back into our document.